I started practicing German and I did not just learn a new language but also learn to look at things in a different way. Perks of learning German. Get a new perspective. Languages help seeing things from a different perspective. As a Spanish native speaker, I can say we give too much importance to sex. Every word is feminine or masculine and we fight because non-binary is difficult to consider in our language. When I learned English, I liked to see that nothing was sexualized. Learning German, I discovered two things so far. It is better to keep the most important piece of information at the end, to keep people's attention. In German, the main verb in conjugation is at the end of a sentence. Sei, you haben, have bestimmt, definitely, nach, still, nicht, not viele, many, anständig, respectable, Zauberer, wizard, kennen gelernt, met. In Spanish and English, we say all the important information first and, for this reason, we tend to interrupt each other in the middle of a sentence. The purpose of words is to transmit knowledge, so they should be easily understood. Some people seem to use words no one knows just to look smart. In German, it is almost impossible to do this as names for objects describe those objects. I really love this about German. Glutenunverträglichkeit means gluten not compatible, celiac. It helped a lot while reading Harry Potter, Zauberer, wizard, Zauberwort, magic word, Zaubererschule, school of magic, Zauberstab, magic wand, Zaubererwit, wizarding world, etc. English may not be the language of the future. Through history, we could see that powerful people, kings and queens in Europe, used to speak French. Then, the Spanish increased their speakers when they colonized America. Now we live in an era where English dominates businesses. But, with the UK leaving the EU, and fights between China and the US, it is possible for German or Chinese to become the main language for business. Why do I think China growth will not last? 2 reasons. Chinese people live in a dictatorship. When Spain was in a dictatorship, it had one of the best economies in the whole world, but it did not last because no one likes a dictatorship. Since then, Spain has had many problems due to the transition. One of the Spanish problems is its high unemployment rate, as traditionally it had an over-controlled employment market. China leaving the dictatorship would create great uncertainty and they would need to change their structure to welcome globalization. China is good at copying other products. So they will never dominate any market if they are never the first to enter and they do not innovate. On the other hand, Germany is one of the promoters of the EU. Lots of migrants that used to move to London are now moving to other European cities. Frankfurt, Paris, and Amsterdam are the cities attracting the most talent and investments. Learning German. I have always wanted to learn German. I went to classes some years ago, but after 3 months I stopped going as I found it dull. Last year, I decided to try it again and I got to be constant all over the year. Do you want to know how I did it? Keep reading. Watch series. Most shows on Netflix are in German: Queer Eye, The Witcher, Rick and Morty, Sex Education. You can set English subtitles to watch it. If you are brave enough, some series, like Rick and Morty, have German subtitles too. Some people consider that turning on English subtitles is bad because you read instead of listening, but it is worse if you do not do it at all because you are bored. I like to make little steps so I am engaged. Read something you like. I read Faust by Flix. You can buy it in Amazon. It's a hilarious comic based on the classic Faust. I also bought Harry Potter und die Kammer des Schreckens. I would listen the Horbeck while reading it and then read it again looking for the words I do not know. I admit I still find it difficult to read, but I love Harry Potter so much that I enjoyed reading it anyway. You should pick a book that you absolutely love to read it in German. Follow German accounts. I personally like to follow YouTube channels that show things that I am interested in. I like history, grammar, and music, so I just go into Google. I search for Deutsche Musik YouTube. Some of my favorites are Lingoni German, Geschichte, Simple Club, Disney Deutschland. P.S. You can set auto-translation to have English subtitles. The feature works quite well. Chat with some German people. Once, I downloaded a dating app and set my location to Hamburg. I started chatting with a girl and she taught me lots of words. It was easy as I had Google Translator on my side. Thanks for reading. Let me know if you have started learning German and how it goes.